We're on to our second here at Navan. It's the racing again, March 6th handicap chase down at the start, and the favourite here is Envol Piergi. He's one of two runners for owner JP McManus. You can see Manella for dollars in the headgear there. Under Jack Kennedy, he won the first for Gordon Elliott, but Envol Piergi favourite. Ruby got his head in front for the first time over fences at Down Royal last time. He had to work pretty hard for it in the end, but I don't know about you, I thought he was value for a bit more than the bear margin.
He probably was in the end, Gary, yeah. I'm not even sure if he had to have improved that much from his previous run at Fairyhouse behind Cavanagh's Corner and Brayside to win in Down Royal. So, yeah, he did win well. Simon Torrance is on board. Mark Walsh obviously rode him the last day. I think Mark is suspended today. But Envol Piergi, yeah, he definitely has to have a chance. But I think there's a couple in here you could make a case for.
Last year's winner, Shane Malayak, one of those, didn't get really far enough to have a hard race in the Grand National trial at Punchestown.
No, he didn't, and prior to that he'd been second over hurdles to unexpected depth at Punchestown. Won the race last year. We know he'll go on the ground, and yeah, I definitely think he's one with a chance. He's running New Toxer the last March is pretty average.
And we welcome main channel viewers back to Navan. Ruby Walsh with me here this afternoon. Envol Piergi heading the market for this 3 mile handicap chase, and it's going to be very testing conditions. We saw the novices in the first finishing pretty tired, with Cocoa Beach winning that 10 up novice chase. Ruby, who'd be your pick for this lower grade contest?
He definitely has a chance, Envol Piergi, and deserves to be favoured, but I think maybe Show Malayak, Gary, ran the national trial last week, didn't get very far, but won the race last year, ran in the Midlands National after that, goes on the ground, stays, has a decent enough weight in his back. I'd be probably going for Shea Malayak over the opposition.
He's good, tough performer, Shea Malayak. 15-2 currently. Owen Mahan rides him today, taking £7 off. He knows the horse pretty well. A few others you can make a case for in this one. Dubai Devils was a wide margin winner at Fairyhouse recently, £10 higher today. Renews rivalry with the second there, Get A Day, who's got a lightweight here. Darrow O'Keefe rides that one. Yeah,
there was 18 lengths between them on that occasion, and a £10 swing you'd imagine would bring them a good bit closer, but wouldn't just be certain Get A Day will turn the table around all the same, would you?
No. And of the others, Manella for dollars, I suppose, is a difficult horse to have much faith in, Ruby, but he is relatively strong in the market there at 6-1. Seemed to be quietly fancied for an amateur race at Punchestown last time. Didn't really manage to get involved that day.
The runner-up, though, Frank the Farm at that race, didn't he? Screaming.
Was second in the national trial.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, Screaming Colours was second there and was second again in the national trial. Cushinstown's finest. Yeah, I suppose, yeah, can make a case for him. What about Arthur Moore's horse, Gary, on the right of your shot there? Fag on Bailach. I think that one could be of interest too. Donald Myler takes the ride. Was 6th in Nace in his last start behind Stormy Judge and Fully Charged. Lanarike did win a chase in Downpatrick last October, and he beat the Abbey. Could have a small chance.
Yeah, she's taken well to fences, in fairness to her. Fog on Bailach, and Donald Myler on board today. Hasn't won over this distance, which would be maybe a little bit of a concern, but quite stoutly bred from a good family there that contained a former Irish national winner, Niche Market, bred actually only up the road here at Boards Mill by William Flood. So we're at post time. Favourite edging out to 3-1. We were just talking about him there over an extra, Ruby. Had to work very hard that day in the final reckoning at Den Royal. I think if his jumping had been a bit slicker over those last few fences, though, he would have won maybe a bit easier than he did. And in the circumstances, maybe £7 is something that he could overcome. The height.
Yeah, he could, and he turned the tables with Cavanagh's Corner, Gary. They had met prior to that in Punchestown in a beginner's chase, no, handicap chase, sorry. Brayside was second, Cavanagh's Corner won that day. So Envol Piergi turned that form around, and as you say, had he jumped a bit slicker, might have found things a little bit easier than he did.
Very interesting market. Favourite easy to back, and the three below him have all tumbled in price. Dubai Devils, Manella for dollars, who's halved from 12-1, and Ruby's fancy Shea Malayak, who's into 6 from 7.5 just in the last couple of minutes. So they're making their way out behind the tape. Jerry Hannon on commentary duty for us here today. This is the racing again, March 6th handicap chase over 3 miles. Fire away, Pete.
So what, followed by Dubai Devils, the trigger, just in behind them. Manila for dollars as they head on towards the second fence. Get a Day, the leader, followed by Moscow So What, Dubai Devils, and the trigger, followed by Manila for dollars. And then comes Envol Piergi. Young Dev's rider Hugh Morgan is without the help of his Ardens as they jump the next fence in the back straight. Number 3, Young Dev, is continuing to head back towards the rear of the field as Get a Day takes them onto the fourth. From Moscow So What, the trigger, Dubai Devils, Manila for dollars, Envol Piergi. These are being followed by last year's winner Chamber Leoc as they reach the fourth. The fence at the end of the back straight. Dubai Devils jumped up on terms with Get a Day and Moscow So What, being followed by the trigger, Envol Piergi, white cap in between Chamber Leoc and Manila for dollars, and then Arctic Skipper, Samurai Cracker on the inside of Fog and Ballock, and Young Dev now the back marker. Hugh Morgan in some difficulty. Across they come to the fifth. The first ditch, Dubai Devils, Moscow So What, Get a Day, the trigger, being followed across to the straight first time by Envol Piergi, then Shea Malayak and Manila for dollars as they make this bend, taking them into the straight to fences 6 through to 8. Moscow So What, Conor, the black and white colours just in front from Get a Day. Dad O'Keefe. On the near side is Dubai Devils and Paddy O'Hanlon as they come now to meet the first fence in the straight. Moscow So What, Get a Day on the right. On the stand side is Dubai Devils. Not much between these three, followed downwards by Envol Piergi, Shea Malayak. Then comes the trigger, Manila for dollars, and Arctic Skipper, Samurai Cracker. Young Dev relegates Fog and Ballock to be the back marker. Almost at the centre fence in the home line, and it's Dubai Devils over in front of Moscow So What and Get a Day the far side, being followed to the nearest fence in front of the stands by the trigger, and then Envol Piergi and Shea Malayak. Dubai Devils, Get a Day, and Moscow So What, these three disputing the lead. Jumping the fence, that'll be the last one next time in the 3 mile racing again, March 6th handicap chase. Get a Day on the rail, Moscow So What, one off the rail, and on the stand side is Dubai Devils. These three abreast, 3 in front of Shea Malayak, and then Envol Piergi in the trigger, followed by Manila for dollars, and then Arctic Skipper. Young Dev is continuing on the outside of Samurai Cracker, and Fog and Ballock has been pulled up. 9 fences left to jump as they head on inside halfway. Moscow So What, Get a Day, Dubai Devils, the 3 in a line, followed by the trigger. Next is Envol Piergi, and then Shea Malayak, Samurai Cracker, Manila for dollars, and Arctic Skipper, who had a big payday here many moons ago in the Fortria. As they race past the 10 furlong point, 8 fences left to jump. Moscow So What, Dubai Devils, and Get a Day. 2.5 in front of the trigger, Envol Piergi, Shea Malayak, Manila for dollars, Samurai Cracker, Arctic Skipper, Young Dev. As they jump the fence across from the stands, 9 furlongs to go, 7 left. Dubai Devils on the outside of Moscow So What. On the inner is Get a Day. Length and a half back to the trigger, and then Envol Piergi, followed by Shea Malayak and Manila for dollars, Samurai Cracker, Young Dev, and Arctic Skipper. Racing to the next fence on the far side, Get a Day over in front of Moscow So What, Dubai Devils tracked by the trigger, Manila for dollars, Envol Piergi, Shea Malayak next, and then Samurai Cracker, Arctic Skipper, and Young Dev. 6.5 furlongs to go. They've 5 fences left to jump. And it is Get a Day, Moscow So What, Dubai Devils, still the top three, being followed by The Trigger, and then Envol Piergi and Shea Malayak. Jumped that one well on the outside, gets into contention with less than 3/4 of a mile to go. 4 fences to jump, and it's still the same 3 up front. Dubai Devils, Moscow So What, Get a Day. Closing is Shea Malayak. Under pressure is Envol Piergi. As they come to the last ditch, 4 from the finish. Moscow So What in between Dubai Devils and Get a Day as they rise, and then Shea Malayak and The Trigger next with Envol Piergi, and then Samurai Cracker and Young Dev as they turn into the straight, struggling both Manila for Dollars and Arctic Skipper. Homeward bound, 4 furlongs to go and 3 fences left, and it's Dubai Devils with a fractional half a length advantage over Moscow So What, Get a Day, Shea Malayak, trying to respond to Grey Envol Piergi, coming to the third last fence, the top of the track, and it's Dubai Devils, the leader, from Shea Malayak on the outside, who's continuing to make headway. On the far side is Get a Day. These 3 are followed by Moscow So What and Young Dev. Despite Hugh Morgan without his irons, is staying on the outside, and then Samurai Cracker coming down towards the second last, and Shea Malayak has come to pick it up from Dubai Devils and Young Dev. This will be a miracle if he wins. On the far side is Get a Day, and Get a Day is a crunching faller as they come down to the final fence. Quickly up is the rider Dad O'Keefe, and it's Shea Malayak from Dubai Devils, and in between them is Young Dev as they come to the final fence in this 3-mile handicap, and the grey Young Dev over on the far side has come to pick it up from Shea Malayak. In third place is Dubai Devils, and up the hill towards the finish it is Young Dev on the far side, and Hugh Morgan for a remarkable win. This is extraordinary. Young Dev from Shea Malayak, who's fought back to be beaten 3/4 of a length. In third was Dubai Devils, and then Samurai Cracker.
Extraordinary is the word. That
10
was something else, really.
10 out of 110 out of 10 to Hugh Morgan.
How many would have even kept going after what happened so early in the race?
No, I don't know, Gary. None, nobody. I think his right stirrup is gone. We couldn't see it flapping as he went through the race. His boot is open. That's only from friction, but yeah, the stirrup is gone. Look right under the stick. You see where the leather should be going into the saddle. It's gone, and he's ridden them for 2 miles, 6.5 furlongs. That is horsemanship at its absolute best. Take a bow.
And he's getting a great reception, justifiably. I mean, we saw him early on in the race, Ruby. He jumped a few fences, and God only knows how uncomfortable that was. Then we saw him having a chat with Dunamyler. The two of them were at the back of the field. Dunamyler ended up pulling up with a circuit to go, and he had his irons.
But it's like Gary, the fitness to do what he's just done, the amount of power, grip and fitness that he's had to keep going, keep his balance, and watch him, doesn't move, his body stays perfectly straight at every fence. He doesn't even look like he's going to come off at any stage. Jumps the last, and he gets stuck into Young Dev then, and he keeps going. But that was brilliant to watch. That is what riding, that's riding, simple as.
Unreal it was.
It's proper.
And the first couple of fences, you could see after it happened, he was just worried about getting over them. Then after a while, you could clearly tell watching, he started to get a bit more comfortable, and he was actually firing them into fences and getting some great jumps out of the horse.
He was, with grip and look, yeah, everybody is, or you should be taught when you're younger to ride bareback, basically. So that's what you're doing. But we can all do it. Can't turn around. I don't know how many people could do it in a chase for this distance. But it's, I think, a testament to Hugh Morgan's his fitness, his determination, and that's a will to win.
Just would not take no for an answer. Henry de Bromhead, actually, his boss, was watching the race not too far away from us here, and he was just saying he's doing a bit of show jumping and what have you of late, and that obviously would have stood him in good stead in a situation like this too, wouldn't it?
It would, but the grip, the power he has in his thighs, his legs are wrapped around this horse, and it's brilliant to watch.
Yeah, it's really something out of the ordinary here at Navan this afternoon. Full credit to the young man, and Dennis Hogan and the owners of the horse will be absolutely thrilled. Hopefully there'll be no issues here when he goes to weigh in either.
No, it does look like that leather and iron is gone. It shouldn't be. You're allowed £1 to come in, up to £1 light, so It's one leather and iron. You'd be hoping it wouldn't be weighing quite that much.